Test 1, 2. That should do it right there. Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're in here today for the first round of this mediocre but fun NFL draft where nobody's excited and it's just kind of sickening to see that it's going to be this way. But it is what it is. And we're going to sit here today and keep it kind of chill. We're going to see who picks what, who takes what in the draft, and we'll talk about every step of the way and kind of just, kind of just go with the flow a little bit tonight. This was kind of a last second deal, had other plans, but I just kind of decided that this is where I wanted to be tonight. Got a lot of things on my schedule looming, and we're gonna play it out ear by ear. Welcome in, everybody. I appreciate you stopping by. Titans are on the clock. T minus 10 minutes, or Goodell should be announcing it very soon. Listen, first of all, everything is on a little bit of a time delay, so it's going to be me 30 seconds later. So I'm not playing this live. Somebody said that I put it out there live last time, and I got a ding from YouTube for broadcasting something that was somebody else's live rights. So I'm going to make sure that everybody knows that this is not live. Although it may sound like it's live at times, it is not. So I got a little bit of music and stuff that goes along that can play, but nothing that's going to get me in trouble, except for maybe the pick is in noise. And other than that, we'll see how it goes. Lindsay, welcome. Good to see you, my dear. Miss Georgianne, wound up, ready to roll for tomorrow. Got just about everything sorted out. Jonathan Pilgrim, what is up, my brother? Mississippi's finest right there. Got Adam, King Mod of all mods. Sorry, Jonathan, but Adam saves my butt. He is a good moderator. Crafty sneaking in. Tom Kangaroo, welcome, guys. You guys are awesome. Good to see you. If anybody is expecting to see me over on the other channel tonight, look for that tomorrow. I'll make a post about it later, but we're going to do that tomorrow. And Green Bay, Wisconsin, what a spot for the draft. It feels kind of drab and mediocre, but they got that field loaded down with people right now and awaiting this draft. So we're going to see how this goes and play it out. Danny D, what is up, my darling? How are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Hey, if anybody is just curious, I am really finagling with stuff a little bit. I dropped a short over on the gaming channel today that I was kind of proud of. Me getting beat up by a Muppet ghost. Go check it out if you like it. Glad to hear you're doing fine. I put this on the vertical today because my boy Adam's in here. Everybody's team is in here. And I think everybody's on consensus right now. Let's see. Who do we think is – let's see. The consensus is that Cam Ward is going number 1 to Tennessee. I cannot hear anything, so I'm not going to hear what they say per se. I'm just going to see it. Does anybody think that there's a possibility of anybody else that could sneak up in that deal? Because me personally, I don't think he's the best fit for Tennessee, honestly. But, I mean, that's another story in itself. But who do we all think is the best player in the draft? And if it was just based on being the best player in the draft, who should go number 1? Adam's got Abdul Carter's the best fit for Tennessee right now. That would be my pick. If I was Tennessee, I would be looking for are they calling a pick? I guess they are. Did they call the pick? God, I gotta turn this on, turn the volume down. I'm gonna turn this volume down and you tell me if you hear it. I got to hear something. All right, well, let me get this ready to rock here. Okay, there you go. Tennessee Titans have officially been placed on the clock, and we are counting it down in round one. No surprises here. Also, I like speculation and stuff. I love all the negative news about Shedeur. I'm not a big fan of any quarterback in this draft per se. I just really don't have one that I really think is going to be a superstar at the next level. So I'm not gonna go down that road. But yeah, Adam, I'm gonna say Dart's probably my favorite. Yeah, you're right. I will give you that. But I love the gamesmanship of uh, the negative commentary about Shedeur for this. Um, I don't know. I watched a lot of the tape in this offseason. I don't know how I feel about him at the next level. I know he's a very much a tremendous athlete. I feel like it's might be Anthony Richardson 2.0. I feel like only Anthony Richardson has a cannon. I'm feeling about a 50% completion percentage and a switch of position at some point. We are sitting in the Titans draft room right now. And I think let's see if they even wait the whole 10 minutes. A lot of Saints fans here in Mississippi don't want Shedeur. Well, Shedeur's going to be there at 9, but is Dart going to be there at 9? Because I think Saints fans want Dart. If they pick a quarterback, I think the Saints fans want Dart on their roster. Well, they've made it 2 minutes and 15 seconds. I wish they would just roll through it because the showmanship of this is not that big a deal to me. Mr. Chris, what's up, brother? Good to see you. What is New England doing with their pick? I mean, I just don't see it. Tank for Manning next year. I don't think Arch Manning. I think Arch Manning is going to play 2 years. I don't think he's coming out next year. I just saw something on that the other day that basically said that it was his dad that they interviewed, basically said that he probably would not come out after next season. You're gonna get somebody to protect May. The tackle from LSU is probably my favorite. I got to get my player list up over here. Let's see. Where are you at, my friend? Where are you at? Man, let's see. Well, I'm just going to bring up some of these lists, but you got to protect. Hey, I think, listen, if Drake May was in this draft, he would be the undoubted number one pick overall. There is no way I don't think you can disagree with that. Look, are they really comparing Shador Sanders to Patrick Mahomes? Is that who they're comparing? Dude, the Rams drafted the next Aaron Donald last year. The two guys, Verse and the other guy from Florida State, those guys are going to be big time. Listen, if there's a quarterback named Dart on the board when the Rams pick, he might disappear. I am not going to be surprised if the Rams do not take a quarterback early this year. If I just love the way they develop. Will Campbell's the boy from LSU that I would like to. I don't know that I'd like to see him in New England, but that's where if New England doesn't trade out of their pick, I think Chris is probably right. It will be Campbell. See, that's the ideal situation. I really don't feel like Stafford's going to be there much longer. And I love the way McVay brings people through the system. So if you get him the right understudy, he will have somebody ready for next year. And I think the Rams are going to do well in this draft because the last few drafts they have picked starter after starter in the late rounds. These guys are really good at what they do. They are at the top of their game right now. The pick is in. Oh, snap. Just wait. I think this is it. All right, the pick is in, y'all. And it's no surprise with the first pick of the NFL draft, the Tennessee Titans selected Cam Ward. So there you go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Cam Ward, who I did not feel was an NFL ready quarterback. It was not, it did not seem like he was going to be the guy, but he is now the guy. And here we go. Cleveland just traded the second pick. Traded with Jacksonville. They get a second and a fourth round pick along with it. So the Jaguars are now on the clock. Whoa, this is kind of a shocker. What do y'all think about that? So the Browns get some draft capital with an extra second and fourth round pick and something else. I didn't catch all of it. And the Jags go from 5 to number 2. I did not expect this. Is this an Ashton Jeanty trade to make sure that nobody else comes up? And if it is, oh my God, the Raiders are going to be screaming because it looked like the Raiders thought that was a lock at 6. Jacksonville does not have the need for a quarterback. Man, this feels like Abdul Carter to me. Doesn't this feel like Carter to you? Tell me this doesn't feel like Carter. You think this is a Travis Hunter thing? Man, it feels like a Carter thing to me. But hey, I love being wrong, and it's okay. With the big shot coming up, I hate Mel Kiper. Mel Kiper needs to go F himself and stop. He looks like a freaking Muppet, and he is no good. I can't believe he's made a living at this. Do the Browns go quarterback at 5? Why not? It takes backing up takes they can go quarterback at 33. Adam, I think as far as after you go past 2 in this draft, I think they're all about equal. I don't think there's anybody that's special that's way back there. You might even go to the 3rd round. I think Dart, I still like Dart the best. I like the Shook kid from Louisville. I like him pretty well just because he's got experience, played in different systems. I even like Ray McLeod's little brother. He's in here. Listen, I like Curtis Rourke from Indiana. Let me talk about that for a second. The dude played the whole season on a torn ACL. And threw bombs. I think the Browns should take the best available. There you go. They swapped 4th. They got a 4th and a 6th round pick from the Browns. The Browns got 2nd, 4th round, and they got the 2026 1st round pick from the Jags. So the Browns get the 5th overall pick. They get a 2nd and a 4th round pick. And then the 1st round pick of next year. Good job, Cleveland. Jacksonville, anybody but the AFC North. What the hell is going on here? Jacksonville's got to have somebody that they are really looking forward to playing, to drafting if they go all the way up to 2. And I think, and that is correct when saying that this is definitely going to alter the way this draft is going to play out. If the Jags get Genty, Grossi's going to scream. Watch. I don't think Ashton Genty is going to be as good as made out to be. I'll go ahead and say it now. I think he's going to have it's going to be a learning curve. Travis Hunter sitting there with that is the most pinkest jacket I've ever seen. Man, I have never seen anything that pink before. Well, that would be the one player in the draft that was worth going up to get if they do select Travis Hunter. Bret Hart did wear some pink, bro. Gotta love it. You know, the next 10 minutes is going to absolutely, after this announcement, the Giants, and sorry, Chris, but the Patriots is just going to be very, very uninteresting. I think a lot of teams are going to be ready to trade back. I seen a Discord message that Sports Cat is looking for Genty. And while he does remind me of Drew from the Jags. He's not that guy. That's a big boy right there. They got a big boy up there. Up there screaming Duval. Where you at, Sports Cat? This is your team, bro. You're the one that asked about this today. Are the Jaguars going to make some kind of move here that's going to really help them? Generational talent is out there. And the pick is in. And the Jacksonville Jaguars select Travis Hunter, cornerback / wide receiver from the University of Colorado. Probably the best, most athletic player in the draft, top to bottom. I felt it's okay, Adam. It's good. That's what it's all about. We thought Travis Hunter was going to be a Cleveland Brown, and now he doesn't have to pay state taxes and gets to go to the state of Florida and play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Smacked it on the way out. He's jogging, skipping, baby. He's a happy camper. Number 2 overall pick, Heisman Trophy winner from the University of Colorado. Put on his Jags hat. He's got that Miami pink kind of going, coming out happy as a. He's ready to rock. He's dancing on stage and stuff, showing off. Excited. These young men work their ever-loving butts off to be on this stage, and this is their moment, right? This is their exact moment when they get drafted into the NFL. Eric Armstead gives him a big man hug, and he's out there talking to him. He hasn't made it to the podium yet, but he is determined that he's going to play both ways in the NFL. I feel like they're going to have a relegated snap count in order to let him do that. I think he should be on the offensive side of the ball first and be like a nickel corner or something like that, select the defensive plays. But he can definitely go up and get it. And he can catch balls that are just out there floating. He makes it look so effortless when he goes up and catches the ball. More content scheduled for my channel in the future. Right now, I have my thoughts on Shedeur and the Saints. Nights 1 and 2 of WrestleMania 41 on my channel. There's more to come. JP, I'll be over to check that out, bro. Definitely. And just to keep it clear, the Giants are on the clock. I really like the swagger of Travis Hunter. I think he's got it kind of figured out. He thinks he's going to be able to play both sides of the ball. And hopefully he can. And hopefully they can find a certain amount of snaps for him. So pretty fired up. That's a pretty solid selection right there. The Jags felt like they needed to go up and get the best player in the draft. And I think they did that. I think they got the most talented guy. Like I said, I made the argument for Carter. However, Travis Hunter is that guy in this draft that's probably the biggest slam dunk one way or the other. Happy young man, got a wonderful smile. Very happy to be going to the NFL. Hopefully, he's one of those guys that produces at a high level. He's stoked, man. The dude is geeked out of his head right now. The Giants got their pick is technically in. So we were going to be seeing that very soon. They are doing a nicer job this year on the draft on kind of getting that clock started and rolling a little faster through it. Anybody got thoughts for the Giants? The Giants, ironically enough, don't necessarily. There you go, Sports Cat. You got the best player in the draft. See? Well, they traded for Brian Burns, right? So they don't need a DE. Do they just stock that room? Or do they go ahead and go with Carter, who is the next best player in the draft? Or do they go quarterback? God, do they go tight end? The questions are everywhere. I really just don't know, because at this point I had Carter. I had Cleveland taking Hunter, and at this point I had Carter. So we'll see how it does. And with an already thick and heavy edge room, the Giants do select Abdul Carter out of Penn State edge, which really makes him going to be kind of a third wheel, or will they have somebody to trade? Will they be trading one of those guys? Adam's like, no. They paid Brian Burns all this money last year, and maybe they're just giving up on Kayvon Thibodeaux. Maybe this is Kayvon Thibodeaux's walking papers right here. The edge from Penn State being a New York Giant. I can't imagine. Does anybody out there think that they're going to work with three separate edges? Or is Thibodeaux done? Are they going to try to trade Burns? What's the deal going to be here? Abdul Carter is a beast. Watched him in the Big Ten. Penn State, number 11. Same number as good old boy Micah Parsons. Uh, 23 and a half tackles for loss last year. Most in the FBS. They got ISIS at the draft. What? It's your time, Chris. 4 picks have been, or the picks have been out there. They're in. What's it going to be? We going to have any more trading of picks? Ashton Genty's still on the board. I like watching these Carter highlights. I like watching how he affects the game. Bro, I mean, that's just exciting right there. At least the Giants did not go out and make a proverbial mistake. Now the Patriots are on the clock. Will the running back go there? It shows that the pick is in. And, just kind of keep that into perspective with the Browns trading back into next year's draft. They own, let's see, how does that work? They own at least 2 of the top 35 picks next year. They got 2 picks on Friday. So they got 3 of the top 36 this year and 2 of the top 32 next year. So the Browns are really trying to flip, their script right here while stocking up on some draft capital, maybe deciding that, they've got a better quarterback room this year. They brought Joe Flacco back, and they're going to probably let Kenny Pickett play. We know that Deshaun Watson's not quite ready to go. So is that going to be the angle that they go? By the way, I'm ahead of you. I can't be ahead of you. How can I be ahead of you? I don't think the Browns are going to take Shedeur Sanders. I think the Browns are not going to take a quarterback, and they're going to let it roll to next year where they have 2. So am I. What do you think I watch on? I'm watching on Spectrum. Where else would I be watching? I'm always ahead of you, bro. I'm way ahead of you. Well, this stream, watch this. This stream has 2 delays built in. One is the StreamYard delay, which is like 10 seconds. And then the broadcast to you is about 15. So I'm 25 seconds. That's fine, even in age. That means more mature, smarter, better. Got you, bro. I'm actually, you know what? I ought to stop for a second and just calm down, because it's pretty different when you're in here. You're never in here when it's just me. So I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for stopping in today. Where you can watch your Patriots. You know what? Mike Vrabel is your coach. You have got the coach that's going to bring you back to at least some level of glory. I got you. And I ain't even talking about that, dude. I'm talking about everything. I'm just talking about everything. It isn't even about games. I probably don't play the games that you like. What do you like? What kind of games you like, homie? Aaron Rodgers announces that he signed with the Steelers during the draft because he wants it to be about him. That's okay. So after the NFL, where do you spend your time? What's your second favorite sport? There's all those are solid choices. I love baseball, dude. fact, if anybody was close here to me, I would be ready to take them to a game in the end of May. I got some good seats for the Reds and the Cubs game. Anybody that's in my area that would like to go, hit me up. All right, Chris. Showtime, brother. The pick is in. Uh-oh. Should I wait? Looks like they picked a big boy. What do you mean you're going to be muting? With the next pick of the NFL draft, the New England Patriots select Will Campbell out of LSU. Probably the best selection for them. Started almost every game in college, even as a freshman. I think he had the lowest sack percentage in college football history for as many starts as he had. Super fast, super intelligent, and now he's a New England Patriot. They say the only knock on him was that his arms were too short, but that dude plays football. Everybody's going with the solid pick. Not necessarily the biggest need, but with the most solid pick. Will Campbell is now a New England Patriot. And just so we know that the Cleveland Browns are on the clock. I can't see that. Why do you think Shedeur Sanders, Drake May is still going to win the starting job? Why would you put a first round pick on the bench? Now you just put a perennial starter on the field to protect your quarterback that you spent the third pick on last year. That's a win for Vrabel. Jonathan, I hate to tell you that I feel like Dart's going at 9. I feel like Dart will be the next quarterback off the board, and he's going to go at 9. You should see my ultimate team on Madden. What makes it ultimate, bro? Fair enough. Bro might still be there in the second round. You don't know. That's what it's called, the ultimate team. That's cool, dog. Yeah, I mean, where do we go next, honestly? I mean, let's see. The Browns are on the clock. Oh. You don't think that the Browns go Genty at 5 now, do you? You don't think that the Browns go Genty now because Nick Chubb could be on the trading block or on his way out. You don't think that they go Ashton Jeanty at 5, do you? I really don't think they're going to go Shedeur or Cam War or Shedeur or Dart at 5. Oh my! What do you think? Because Ashton Jeanty is the game changer. Nick Chubb may not be a Brown next year. You don't know. Man, tell me how that crazy that would be. Because that would just F the Raiders up. The Cleveland Browns pick is in. With the 5th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns have selected Mason Graham. Didn't expect it. I think Adam talked about him going in the top 5. Kind of surprised, but that's why they traded back. I think there's a lot of being. I think, Adam, I'm going to give you a prop right there. I think there's a lot of shopping going on right now. Mason Graham played really well. I watched him several times this year. He is very quick. He is very fast to the ball. He's a good run stopper, and plays a very relentless defensive line position. The only thing that I will negate about some of his incredible speed to the ball is the fact that Michigan rotates D line very effectively to keep those guys fresh. He'll have to be able to play a few more snaps, but to put somebody right next to your big guy on the edge that has the same kind of relentless approach, I think that's a way to try to stop guys like Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow to get in there and try to beat them to death. And that is Cleveland's attempt. I can say that that's a solid pick. And so far, nobody's done much that's stupid yet. Uh-oh. Now, is the Raiders taking Jeanty? Is that a given? Is that it? Is this where we're going? Are the Raiders taking Jeanty next? The Browns got a good look at Graham all year long. Cleveland and Ann Arbor are not that far apart. I think that's a good pick right there. I can't say much for it because I want the AFC North to pick horribly. I'm a little biased. Cleveland Browns fans should be rejoicing in having their defense built back up. There's 3 Browns fans there, and they're all cheering. Raiders are on the clock. Nobody has selected Jeanty. That has been where they thought they were going to go the whole time. I see Pete Carroll standing there like a champ. Pete Carroll adores the running game. Will it be Ashton Jeanty for the Raiders? Panthers, I still think you might see a lot of shopping of picks people trying to trade back or trade up now to if they're looking for a certain player. If somebody's not off the board, is Shedeur one of those guys that they're looking for? Will the Raiders take a look at Shedeur to put him underneath Geno Smith and give him an opportunity to grow a little bit? I think he needs time to be an NFL quarterback. And just like that, we are back. Will they select Jeanty? We're going to find out here in just a second. With the 6th overall pick in the NFL draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Ashton Jeanty, running back, Boise State. Is he that same type of guy? Is he going to be that guy in the NFL? (5'8", 211 pounds. Nothing but speed, acceleration, and strength. Don't think he fared so well in the tournament there, but in his conference, he was absolutely dominant. I love watching the excitement on their faces as they come down this long corridor and they go by their team. Jeanty will be a Raider. He looks a little bit fired up, got his hat on, black and silver, coming out the tunnel to meet the fans in Green Bay. Hanging out with Roger Goodell. The moment this young man has been waiting his whole life for. They are comparing him to Emmitt Smith. Wow. What up, John Wick? How you doing, brother? We are at pick number 7. The Raiders just selected Jeanty. And we are getting ready to move on. Who do I need? Best player available, Chris. Man, it's hard to say. So the Browns loaded up on draft capital. They traded with Jacksonville. Jacksonville wanted the number 2 pick. They took Travis Hunter. Cleveland got the 5th pick. They got a second-round pick from Jacksonville, a 4th-round pick, and then a first-round pick next year. So Cleveland loaded up on draft capital and only moved back 3 spots. The Jags, and then they took Graham to play defensive tackle for them. So and then the Raiders come in at 6 and pick Jeanty, and now we are on pick 7. And I think it's the Jets. This one feels like a tight end. This one feels like it depends on which guy you like. Loveland from Michigan or Warren from Penn State. It's one of these two. If you like tight end for the Jets, I think they could use all sorts of stuff. No problem, brother. Good to see you tonight. Thank you for stopping by. Lone Star High School, they're all psyched up. It's going to be one of those things. Jets coming in next. Man, I just don't know. My God. Look, I like all these players. So some of the needs for the Jets, they have a lot of them. Wide receiver, safety, tight end, D tackle, O tackle. The clock has Jalen Walker as the best available from Georgia, linebacker, but looking over at what ESPN thinks right now, Tyler Warren would be the best fit in New York. The good thing about Tyler Warren is he's a Big Ten guy, and the thing about him is that he is a blocker as well as a good pass catcher. He likes to block. I think that's what's solid about him. Ranked as the number 1 tight end in this draft. We'll see how it shakes out here coming up in just a moment. Feels like yesterday already that we were talking about it, but Cam Ward goes first to Tennessee. Travis Hunter second to Jacksonville, who traded up. The Giants take Carter, which probably means that Kayvon Thibodeaux has been put on notice. The Patriots take Will Campbell from LSU, probably the best tackle in the draft. Can never go wrong taking a tackle. And then the Browns take Mason Graham. I do believe Mason Graham was coveted by San Fran. I believe that was one of the guys that they were really looking at. So we'll see how that plays out as we start to move forward. Jets pick is in, which means that the Panthers are on the clock, but we're still on commercial. It's crazy that the Jaguars took Hunter. It's crazy that they really wanted him that badly. Giving up the draft capital later in this year and next year for that is what I find a little bit crazy. Kajume, thank you for the comment. Jets, the pick is in. We're getting ready. Goodell is rolling up to the stage. Oh, and in no uncertain terms, there's some big surprises here. The Jets decide to bolster their offensive line, going with Armand Membu, 6'4", 330-pound tackle out of Missouri. Ranked in the top 10 overall, is a very dominant player, very well spoken. I listened to him with the interviews post Senior Bowl. Just seems like that type of guy that is the hard worker, willing to get after it. An SEC kid. Looks like a solid selection and a very, very safe pick for the Jets. Carolina Panthers are on the clock and already, Adam, the pick is in. Panthers are selecting 8. Adam, will the Panthers go for the tight end? What do you think? It's your team, Adam. You're on the clock, bro. You got the moment here. What's it going to be for the Carolina Panthers? You don't know. What do you think, my friend? This is your moment, bro. Pick it. Be the GM. Who are they going to pick? Is it Jalon Walker, linebacker, Georgia? Walker, Johnson. I don't think they're going to go Warren. The corner from Michigan, let's see what they do. I'm hoping for you to make a great pick. Oh, that's your pick. I like it. I was a little early with that. Just a little bit. Got to have some patience with me here. I was getting excited. I hit the button too fast. The pick is in, but we're not ready to call it out yet. Moments after drafting edge rusher, listen to this. Abdul Carter. GM Joe Shane said his team is picking up Kayvon Thibodeaux's 5th-year contract option. Tell me what that means to you all. They're going to pick up his 5th-year option. So they're not getting rid of him. They give Brian Burns a huge contract for the other end. And then they draft an edge, 1st-round pick. What does that say? Because that is somebody on the trading block? Is there something going on in New York that I don't know? I love the fact that they took best player available, but that was probably their strongest position on the defensive side of the ball, and they went ahead and added another. And they're picking up Thibodeaux's option. I'm just trying to figure out what all that means, because his 5th-year option probably, I don't know what that pays him next year, but it's got to be somewhere between $16 and $22 million, especially with all these new contracts going, up to 40. It might be even more. Got to feel like the Giants are going to trade somebody. I just feel it. Carolina Panthers go 5-12 last year, which is an improvement. Finished 3rd in the NFC South. Specific needs for the team look like it's edge, safety, cornerback, wide receiver, and defensive tackle. Mel Kiper, who gives a shit? Yeah, he's got most of the guys that except for Shedeur right here. I think he's got Shedeur up there just to keep up appearances. Adam, I hope you're right. Jalen Walker looks like the fit for me. I like it. Panthers pick is in. Waiting for our friend Mr. Goodell to bless us on the stage. It is your moment, Adam. And here we go. Oh, and out of a different angle, the Carolina Panthers select Tatora McMillan, the wide receiver out of Arizona. I knew he was going to probably be the top wide receiver picked in the draft, but I did not suspect him ending up a Carolina Panther. And Adam is not pleased. Top wide receiver is off the board. Well, top wide receiver only. 6'4", 219 from Arizona. Showing some highlights right now. And just so everybody is aware, the Saints, Jonathan Pilgrim, you up? Well, I mean, that's the closest team to you. I know you're a Rams fan, but there you go. And he has not got to the board yet. And Saints already got their pick in. Stops to pick up his hat, his Carolina Panther hat. Looking goofy. Gives Roger Goodell a necklace. Sports his Carolina Panther uni. McMillan. First wide receiver only off the board goes at pick 8. There is a lot of selections out there that haven't dropped their first player yet. So we shall see. Coming up at the Saints at 9. Dude, are the Saints going quarterback? That's where the question is. Derek Carr has been accused of faking an injury to try to get out of his contract. The guy that seemed like he was the most stand-up guy, the most honest guy in the NFL over the course of years now looks like a liar. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's been talked about widely over NFL radio for a while now that it looks like his integrity is kind of shot. We're going to see if the Saints choose a quarterback in this instance, but there are some really exceptional defenders out there that could go. There's so many ways they could go. Adam's already on Sports Cat. Travis Hunter is a bust. If he's a bust at wide receiver, he's probably a top corner. I mean, just depends. Longest drought. The Saints have not picked a quarterback since Archie Manning in 1971. Saints have draft room looks poised and ready for the pick to be called. All right, we are up to it. Pick number 9. And the first player from the University of Texas, offensive tackle Kelvin Banks Jr., goes to the Saints with the 9th pick. That is 3 tackles off the board in the first 10 picks. And the Saints go safe. They bolster their O-line. Kelvin Banks is the first Texas Longhorn off the board today. And keep in mind that the Texas Longhorns are expected to break the record this year with the most players drafted. I think they need to have 16 picked to break that record, and they get their first one picked at the 9th slot. Solid left tackle for the University of Texas, really gets after it, accelerates during the run game and gets out. Looks like a solid player. I had him down one more slot. I can't remember the guy I had in front of him, but I had Banks at the 5th. I had him in the 5th tackle spot. And I'm trying to remember why at this point. I don't have my notes. But he did protect Quinn Ewers this year. And we are already back. Kelvin Banks Jr., the 9th overall pick, wearing his Saints hat, sitting with his family. He is visibly emotionally overcome with joy. Somebody just stuck some long fingernails on his shoulder, and they're kind of scary. Man. And now we are back to the Chicago Bears. And as time goes by, we're doing really well today. 10 after 9, and we've got an hour's worth of picks already in. About to slow us down, I'm sure. I'm trying to figure out what these two girls are talking about on stage. FL Thunder digging with Rob. What is up, my brother? Rick Farmer, how you doing, my friend? Good to see both of you today. Chilling during draft time. Anybody that is thinking about it for the other channel, that will be tomorrow night. Something will be there, as we are going to be at Waverly Hills tomorrow night. You'll find me either live tomorrow night with that at some point in time. So I decided to take today and focus on the NFL. And I'm not really sure what these two ladies are talking about. However, Jay Paul, what's up, young brother? Another Michigander right there. A lot of teams going with the coveted in the trenches safe pick so far. Not a lot of flair in this draft thus far. Travis Hunter was traded up for by the Jacksonville Jaguars at number 2. And now it is time for Roger Goodell to announce the 10th pick in the draft. And they're doing a memorial to Steve McMichael, who recently passed. A little premature again. This is the 50th anniversary of Walter Payton's selection to the draft. Walter Payton, probably one of my favorite running backs of all time to watch. Walter Payton, Barry Sanders. The Chicago Bears select Colston Loveland, tight end, Michigan. I figured Warren would go first, but Loveland gets the nod. Bears fans rejoice in a playmaker to hopefully make Caleb Williams look a little bit better. Colston Loveland, first tight end off the board today. We all would have thought it was going to be Warren, and it is not. 6'6", 248 pounds out of the University of Michigan. Big boy. Ranked second in tight ends. Had a 92 grade. And now he is going to be a Bear. I feel like that is a good selection for the Chicago Bears. And just so everybody's aware, the San Francisco 49ers pick is in. And being a Lions fan, I really hope the Bears and the Jets both do good this year. You know what? The Jets are cursed. Nothing can change my mind. And the front office of Chicago knows how to F up a good wet dream. Chris, probably the most interesting thing that's ever come out of your mouth. I gotta say, I agree with the intrigue. What if Shedeur Sanders goes to the Dallas Cowboys? I think that would be a great story. I think that would be awesome. I would love to see how that works out. You know what? I had, John, I had a soft spot for Chicago for a few years because I really liked the hiring of Matt Nagy as being their coach. And then I just watched how the fans and the front office just ruined a couple of really good seasons with a subpar quarterback. Mitchell Trubisky was not going to be an NFL star, but yet he took those teams and got them into the playoffs. And then everybody just screamed. We had Bears fans in here screaming for Nagy's head the whole time. And then they finally fired him. And what has happened since then is that they continually make stupid decisions and reset their windows for trying to win. And trading Justin Fields and drafting Caleb Williams, we still don't know how that's going to turn out yet. But Justin Fields went 4-2 as a starter last year in Pittsburgh. Oh, Loveland was definitely a first-round pick. I didn't figure he would be a top 10 pick. Had Loveland in the top 25. I think that's where you and I differ, is because you favor the Southern style of football. I favor the Northern style. I think that's why we're different. Ain't nothing wrong with that either. It's just I think that's why we pick differently, which I don't mind. Because I don't think, as far as a head coach goes, that they're going to find anybody any better. I just feel that way. I feel that that's what the way they feel in the front office. The guy is a good leader of men. He is a good role model and head of the organization as far as from that standpoint goes. I don't, unless they come up with something. It's just like, what do I mean by that? Big Ten football and ACC and SEC football is totally different. It's a different style of play. The tight end is way more important in the North than it is down south. They do a lot more with the tight ends up here. That's why you always see guys from like Iowa and Michigan and Penn State that fill those roles at a high level in the NFL. We look at football differently. Yeah, that's it. Your basis of opinion is based on a style of football that you've been watching for 20 years. And it's just like it's really the same in the NFL. The North teams that are in the North divisions play just a different brand of football. The AFC North has got. I wish Cincinnati was in a different division. I hate it. It is some grungy, smash mouth football like you've never seen. And here's the pick that I could care less about. But don't you think it's ironic that Brock Purdy turned down his first contract offer from the 49ers? Because they tried to lowball him into a deal. I thought that was pretty interesting. Yeah, I think Pittsburgh's in between a rock and a hard place with their coach. I really do. San Francisco, your pick is in. Dallas will be on the clock next. And the Niners go for the edge. They take Mykel Williams from Georgia. Not a real shocker that they're going back to defense. And he looks very, very ready to go and to be a defensive end for the San Francisco 49ers. Not where I thought they would go either, but hey, 6'5", 260 out of Georgia. He was ranked third as far as the edge goes, I think. He was ranked top 15 overall. I think he got like a 91 grade. Another one of these just crazy athletic edge rushers from Georgia. It seems like they put one in the top 15 every single year. And Dallas has got their, well, I still got that up there. What if she, well, we'll just leave it up. What if Shedeur goes to the Cowboys? Will the Cowboys blow their top? They're probably the best pick that they've had in a few years, and at 12, will they pick Shedeur Sanders? If they do, Christopher Fields is a prognosticator. He's definitely a savant. He figured it out early. Round 1, pick 11 is in the books. The Niners get Mykel Williams. Kirk wins the Super Bowl for the Vikings. They should trade him back. Oh, and just so you know, here we go. And in another surprise, one of the guys that I thought might still be around when the Bengals selected at 18, Tyler Booker, guard from Alabama. Guards don't normally go in the first round. I thought Cincinnati would sneak up and get their pick of guard this year. But that does not happen as Dallas goes interior offensive line and picks Booker, the number 2 rated guard in this draft. Rated at about an 85, 51 overall. Big surprise. That's kind of where I thought somebody that would be there for my Bengals when the time came. And evidently, I'm wrong again. Pizzle, your fins are on the clock. 7 minutes to go for the Miami Dolphins. And listen, if you guys want to keep going out outside the edge and leave Walker out there, for me at 18, I'll take it. I will be excited for Walker at 18 if I can get him. Although Cincinnati's got lots of needs. That second quarterback is still slipping further and further down the board. You know, I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. Pittsburgh might be the one that takes Shedeur Sanders. They missed on a late round quarterback with Kenny Pickett a few years back. They may go the Shedeur Sanders route. What do the Fins really need? Well, the Fins need offensive line help, guard or tackle. They need a defensive tackle. They need linebackers, and they need safeties. Safety might be their number one need in my mind. Like I said, I could be wrong. They lost Raheem Mostert this year. Running back could be on their clock to pair up and have a double threat backfield. Unless Pizzle's in here and got something to say about what he thinks his team's going to need. I think a lot of teams are really. I think they're really trying to feel out what they're looking for starters. I don't think they're. My comment about this draft was that there are very few superstars in this draft, but there's a lot of starters out here, and I think teams are trying to pick safely to give themselves a starter, and I think that's why you're seeing a lot of O-line go early. I think teams are looking to bolster up front this year. Everybody watched Philadelphia last year and saw what they did with a good running back and arguably the best O-line out there. I think teams it's a monkey see, monkey do league. I think they're repeating what they see in Philadelphia, and I think that is the reason why the draft is trending the way that it is so far. This was not a quarterback-friendly draft, and I think that's the reason why everybody's just loading up in the trenches. Man, I still got some hopes for what I want in Cincinnati, but you know what? I just kind of feel like Miami's going to go off the rails here and go corner. It just feels like it's about that time. Feels like it's time for a cornerback to come off the board, and I feel like Miami might do it right here. Yeah, that's 4 offensive linemen off the board in the first 12. We're not quite at where we were at with quarterbacks last year, but we're heading in that direction. The trend is in the trenches. Let's see. Do we have D tackles so far? thought we had a D tackle. Oh, we did. Yeah, Graham. Graham was a D tackle. The trenches are kicking ass right now. It's about time we might, man, another wide receiver coming off the board soon. I don't know. It's really strange not seeing focus on the very, on the can't get the word out of my mouth. It's hard not seeing focus on the weapons. A little slight run early, and then it just kind of dies out. Here we go. Miami Dolphins pick is in. What will the Fins do? Will they pick somebody that will make Pizzle buy a jersey? And here comes the man. Roger Goodell is at the podium. And Miami goes right back to the trenches as well. And they take Kenneth Grant, DT from Michigan, and they go interior defensive line. The trend in this draft is absolutely the trenches. And that is where we are going thus far. The Dolphins select a defensive tackle. I'm kind of surprised with that, but everybody seems to be going with the best, safest pick. And for all my friends out there, the Indianapolis Colts are now on the clock. Surprise, surprise, surprise. It's getting to that point where, wow, I don't know what to think. I'm not sure how this is going to play out for my Bengals at 18 or what's going to be. Everybody seems to be taking the safest pick that can be for them. But the Colts are on the clock. Let's talk about the Colts. Guess what? Here you go. This is absolutely a dream fall for them because all I've heard about the last 2 weeks is what if Tyler Warren is available for the Colts? If they do not select Tyler Warren here, a lot of the fans I know of are going to go crazy. I can assume that they may go Walker just because he's still on the board, or they could go with the cornerback out of Michigan. Name has left me right now, Will Johnson. But Tyler Warren is what Colts fans have been screaming for a minute. Any Colts fans in here right now? Just curious if that's what you're looking for or what you want. And the Colts, their pick is in. No Colts fans are standing in here today to talk for their team. It's going to be Tyler Warren. And just like we just talked about, it's the pick that fell to them. Tyler Warren is still available on the board, and the Colts select Tyler Warren, tight end from Penn State, which was one of the players that they absolutely have been talking about for weeks around here, and he is now an Indianapolis Colt. And the Atlanta Falcons are on the clock. Wow. And I'm just sitting here trying to figure out what the Atlanta Falcons are going to do next. Tyler Warren is ultra athletic and high school quarterback. They're showing some of his throwing skills right now, or maybe you have his receiving skills. I'm sorry, but he can throw the ball. Oh, the Bengals are 17th. We just got a couple more picks to go. Let's go. Pick somebody I don't want, Atlanta. Tyler Warren took 45 career snaps as a quarterback, one snap as a center, 1,119 at tight end. He also took 500 and some change in the slot, I think is what it said. So guess what? Here we go. We got 4 minutes on the clock. And does anybody have an opinion on the current rise of Jalen Milroe? Why people think he's rising on draft stock, and I couldn't quite figure that one out. So they invited him to Green Bay, and thank goodness that they're not focusing the camera on the guy that's not getting selected. I watched that with Will Levis a few years ago. I think his girlfriend left him after that incident where they just kept showing him on camera as pick after pick went by, and he was projected as a first rounder and didn't go. What does the Atlanta Falcons? What are they looking for this year? Top needs are represented as edge rusher. They need a defensive tackle, so defensive trenches, center. We haven't seen a center come off the board yet. Safety and wide receiver. Very interesting that their pick is not already in, as the clock is still timing down. I wonder if they're trying to make any last minute deal to trade the pick. It's kind of strange because everybody else has been ready, but the Falcons pick is not in. Could they be trying to trade back? And who would be wanting to come up for what would be the question. Rick says the Vikings should trade down. I would step back in this draft. If somebody wanted to, how about that fundamental? You got your boy. Tyler Warren was what every Colts fan was looking for, and it rolled out that way. So I gotta say that's pretty awesome. Hey, they're different players, and each team has a different need. I still felt Warren was the best tight end in the draft. He fell there. You got him. Accept that as a blessing. The Colts generally mess up. So, or not the Colts, I'm sorry. The Bears generally mess up. Mel Kiper still thinks that Shedeur Sanders is the best available out there right now. And Josh Simmons is still on the board for Ohio State. Man, I tell you what, it's shaping up for my Bengals to get somebody good. It just don't screw it for me now, Falcons. The Falcons still do not have their pick in. And that is kind of crazy. What is going on? And the clock is about to time out. There was a less than 1% chance that Jalon Walker would be available at pick 15. And he is the guy on camera right now. And the Falcons pick is in. Let's see which way they roll. Look at, who cares about Mel's rank? F. Mel Kiper. He ranked Dan Marino 18th. I was a little early again. Sorry about that. They haven't given it to me yet. But the Falcons waited till the very last second. Tells me that they were trying to shop that pick and there was no takers. I don't know if anybody agrees with that, but we'll see. Jalon Walker looks like the pick just because hometown boy, really close. University of Georgia. All right, here we go. Finally, Goodell is headed to the stage, and the Falcons are ready to make their selection in the 2025 NFL Draft. And here comes Roger Goodell walking to the microphone now, as there was some delay on this one. And no surprise to me, they take the best player available on the board, and that is Jalon Walker, linebacker, Georgia. Surprised he was still there at this point, but he fell, and he will stay in the state of Georgia and play for the Falcons. I think he looks pretty excited about the selection. Everybody seems to be fired up about it. I would have loved for him to slide one more pick. And the Arizona Cardinals are on the clock. I don't think Grange is going to sneak in here to tell me who they need. Fundamental Alex is working. Loveland also had surgery for a severe type 5 joint dislocation and torn ligaments in his shoulder. Very risky. Well, that's another reason right there. God, Georgianne, I feel that way too. I feel like, that kid has never been coached by, and that's a credit to Tomlin. And I know you don't want to hear that, but that is the type of coach that he needs. He's only had his daddy coaching him for this long. I would like to see Shedeur with Sean McVay. Honestly, I think that would be awesome. I just think that would be a great fit. But we are celebrating Jalen Walker finally coming off the board and going to the Falcons at the 15th overall pick. Nothing to hang your head about that. He was projected a top 5 player, and he slips all the way to 15. The last Walker from Georgia that slipped down fell to the Philadelphia Eagles at pick number 10 or 11 and ended up being a home wrecker once his legal troubles cleared. Arizona's on the clock. Talking about the Cardinals, I was kind of hoping Grange would be in here to say hello about his Cardinals. But looking at the Cardinals, they have a lot of needs. Offensive guard is one of them. So is defensive tackle, which has been the trend thus far of this draft. The cornerback, this would be a very, very good spot for Will Johnson from Michigan to drop to and slip into the draft and get out there. We'll see if that is the case. If they go cornerback, wide receiver, edge, guard are also on that list. So a few guys out there that it could be. We'll see where the Cardinals go. They have 3 minutes and some change left to select. So the internet is a little bit faster than the TV, but the TV shows that the pick is officially in. Goodell has not made his way to the stage yet, and we are going to have the Arizona Cardinals pick momentarily going forward. Oh, Georgianne likes Milroe over Shedeur. It's easy to hate Shedeur Sanders. I'm just not high on this quarterback class. Look at this. Go to the 4th round and take Curtis Rourke, which Pittsburgh may end up doing. They may draft 2 QBs in this draft. Curtis Rourke, my Indiana Hoosier this year, played with a torn ACL. Tell me that isn't awesome. He played a season in which he made it to he only missed 1 game, and they made it to the college football playoff for the first time ever with a torn ACL. Jalen Milroe is at the draft. He is the only other quarterback that is at the draft, I believe. And his stock has been rising. I know Shedeur did have a nice visit in Pittsburgh. And the Arizona Cardinals were getting ready to show their pick. And then my Bengals will be on the clock. Get a little hype for that. Get a little fired up for that. Oh, Here we go. The pick is in. And they go with Walter Nolan, D tackle. Another safe pick from Ole Miss. 6'4", 296. Position, he was about third in his position group. They do pick out of need, but they do go back to the trenches, which is the common theme in this draft thus far. He was a top 15, 20 overall projected pick, and he's now a Cardinal. Ironically, he's wearing the red. The hat matches, and he is going to Arizona. Oh, and ironically enough, it's just it is strange. And so just keeping it in keeping it where it should be right now. The Bengals are up next. I don't know what the heck happened to my computer here. 1 second. All right, there we go. Got it fixed. Wow. Um, Will Johnson is still on the board at cornerback. Uh, we do have needs at edge, even with Trey Hendrickson contract dispute and possibly being traded. I love the fact that we need an offensive guard. We need a cornerback or maybe a safety because they're moving guys around in the back. Will Johnson out of Michigan. I know the name in this area has come up quite a bit of James Pierce. He is out of the University of Tennessee. Widely thought of as one of the guys that was on their short list. Also, they have brought in a lot of people in their visits. But I didn't expect Will Johnson to still be on the board here, and I would really like to have a top corner. I will take what I get, of course. I do not agree with ESPN saying that their biggest need is cornerback, edge, then wide receiver and tight end before guard. I totally disagree with that. A guard should be up there. Guard, center. I want a trench player. I really think they need to give Mr. Golden a defensive player of his choice for this draft and let him get the first round pick. We got a new DC, let him have his selection. And I still think it's going to be Will Johnson because he seems to be the right guy for the job. Hoping as long as we get a starter out of this first round, I will be absolutely pleased. Doesn't have to be a superstar, just be somebody to go out there and do your job every day. Cincinnati needs that. They need it on both sides of the ball in the trenches. Make that defense just a little bit better, and we win 12 games last year. Just a little bit better on the defensive side, and we win 12 games. I don't like the fact that the Cincinnati could go running back. I really feel like it might be Josh Simmons, the defensive tackle from Ohio State. I think that one's a possibility. Golly, I just see so many options out there that would be really solid for them. Barron, the cornerback from Texas, is another one that I wouldn't mind seeing. They don't have safety listed, but they're moving people in and out of that position. Defensive backs or defensive backs in my mind. Take the right one. I'm going to look at where Derek Harmon was projected to Cincinnati from Oregon on one of the last final mocks of the year, and so was James Pierce. So we'll see what happens here. But I'm going to tell you something. I just want somebody that is going to be a good starting player for this team this year. Give us some consistency and of somebody that can make a few plays and just not be a hindrance. I feel it's going to be on the defensive side of the ball. A cornerback, a top-notch corner would be nice. An edge or a tackle would be great. I can't imagine they could go. There's a couple of them kids from that Sawyer kid still available too. I love him. Edge is going to be a big spot for them. Schefter's talking about it right now. And here he comes, Roger Goodell onto the stage. I got my fingers crossed, hoping for my Bengals get something that they really need. Somebody that's going to be an immediate impact player and a starter from the middle of the first round. Lots of good selections still on the board. And the pick is in. They go with Shamar Stewart, the edge from Texas A&M. Kind of confused about that. Uh, 6'5", 267. I thought that there was better choices available on the board for the Bengals. Yeah, I'm not really sure that I feel the same way. He is a big edge at 267. I just felt that there was other options that were better out there. I'm not exactly pleased. Hopefully I am wrong. Al Golden made that pick, I'm assuming, as the new defensive coordinator for Cincinnati. Hopefully it's what they want. Maybe there's something about Texas A&M that they see. I'm just not sure that is the guy that I wanted to see replacing. Well, it's the same situation as the Giants. They just drafted Myles Murphy last year. And now they've got an abundance of – they got an extra edge rusher. Shamar Stewart looks like a beast. He's fired up. He is happy camper. And he is loving on Goodell right now. He is fired up. I hope he brings some of that energy to the field. And Stewart has got his name on that jersey. And we will see. I don't think they can trade Hendrickson. I think they're in between a rock and a hard place, fundamental. How is that going to play? Like, I'm going to give you that as an example. Hendrickson was offered $28 million on an extension per season. He wants 31, 32, 35, something like that. He's 31 years old. Nobody was offering to give up a whole lot for a 31-year-old. I don't think nobody was offering that kind of money in a trade. If you're going to make something work, you got to make something work. But I just don't see it. They look pretty happy with their selection. I hope they are very happy. I hope he is the guy, because I just didn't see it coming. That is fact. The initial asking price was I think it was a first or a second. And like I said, I don't think you're going to get anybody to give you that for a 31-year-old edge rusher. I just don't feel it. I could be wrong. There could be somebody out there that has something in that range. I thought for sure that a 3rd round pick and some compensation, they probably could have worked it. Also, Ramsey was on the trading block too from the Dolphins. Everybody's trying to trade the older guys but I just don't see it. Cincinnati's not going to let go of him when they only have to pay him $18 million this year. They'll let him sit out. And the pick is in for the Seattle Seahawks. Here comes Roger Goodell back to the stage. And Gray Zabel comes off the board. Another guard goes to the Seattle Seahawks, and there's another player right there in the trenches. I believe, if I remember correctly, this young man can play center as well. I think he's that versatile offensive lineman. 6'5", 312 pounds. Can't say that I would have argued with that pick for Cincinnati if they would have went offensive guard. This they're showing a scene where he played tackle. Tampa Bay Bucks are on the clock. What is up, Rob? Vasan, I agree. I feel like, I don't know what I feel like. I feel like there's going to be some movement now in their defense, and I'm not sure that this guy is going to be an immediate impact player. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for stopping by. Fundamental, he's worth it. He's worth a 2nd round pick based on his athleticism and prowess and how many snaps he plays in the season. I thought the 2nd round was not out of reach, but why would you not try to get as much as possible if there was a team that was willing to bite? But listen, I've been around this Mike Brown-led Bengals team my whole life, and here's how they do business. They're not going to trade him. They're going to force him to play out his contract. They're going to give him a raise. They're going to give him a raise of, now that he doesn't want to play for that $28 a year, they're going to give him a $4 million or something cash raised, bonus, whatever you want to call it, and to play out his contract and then go be a free agent. And then next year, that free agent market is not going to be. He's not going to pull $36 million. Only a couple guys in the league have that clout to pull that, and he is probably as good as they are, but he's not Myles Garrett. He's not TJ Watt. And I think your age has a lot to do with your contract. So he should have took the $28 million per year raise on that extension and took the 2 years extended, put him for till 34, which would have got him to retirement. But he feels that there's more value out there. So we'll see how it works out. And what is up? What's with you? Why'd you change your name? Mike Green, bro, I was on the cornerback or a guard, or I was on anybody but another edge. Miles Murphy and Joseph Osai are already there. Osai's been extended. Murphy's on a rookie contract. Hendrickson, unless they've got a plan to trade Hendrickson tomorrow or later today, unless there's somebody, they might try to trade him for a draft pick today. I don't know. I'm still waiting to see. That's the only thing that makes any sense to me, is that Hendrickson's getting traded. I felt there was a lot of stuff. I felt there was a lot of players out there that immediately helped their team more than another rookie edge. I felt this way last year. Last year they could have went cornerback last year and got got the best cornerback in the draft. Here we go. Got to show Aaron Rodgers. Beagle, later, bro. Thank you for stopping in. I don't know how to pronounce your new name. Fix it. What up, stranger? Who day? F the Cardinals. Okay, I'll buy that. So we're getting close to that Pittsburgh Steeler territory. Yeah, the next couple picks are not going to be a Shedeur Sanders pick. We might not see Shedeur picked today. Whoa, did you just say Brockton? Where's Brockton at? I don't see a Brock. Oh, yeah, I do. I know what that is. I got you, Georgianne. All right, the pick is in. Ibuka, wide receiver from Ohio State. Dude was a baller. Another baller going to Tampa. And he is stoked. And Ohio State has been churning out some really amazing wide receivers. And this year is no different. Ibuka goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and giving Baker Mayfield another target. You have an aging Mike Evans, an aging Chris Godwin still on the roster. some fresh legs in Ibuka would make a great selection, not necessarily as a need. It's kind of a luxury pick, but it gives him enough time to kind of work himself in and have himself a great career. Seems like another pick that fits. 6'1", 202 pounds. He was the 4th ranked receiver on the board. 2 are already gone. I'm trying to think who he's ranked underneath. I'll figure that out here in a minute. But another really stellar selection. Good job, Tampa Bay. I wish my front office in Cincinnati could learn something and figure out how to make the right pick. They look very happy that they got the draft pick that they wanted. And here we go. Everybody's beloved Broncos are on the clock. I wonder what they're going to do under Sean Payton to upset Alex. Sometimes I just don't get it. Chris, I didn't even see that. Be careful. Don't hide my friends. You happy with that selection, Rob? Or are you happy with another stellar wide receiver in Tampa Bay? Nah, I'm not pleased, Lindsay. I'm not a happy camper. I don't know what I feel like. I feel like that was the wrong pick. I feel like they could have addressed a need and got a starter elsewhere. Yeah, I mean, Basant was still. They could have found a starter in another position but right now at edge, even though Sam Hubbard retired, they re-signed Osai. They got Miles Murphy last year, and Trey Hendrickson's still under contract for a year. Unless they've got a plan to trade Hendrickson out of there or one of those other 2 guys, it feels like a rotational player. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Rob. Evans won't be around maybe a couple more seasons. And I think that's a good spot for them to – I think it was a good spot for them to pick up a quality receiver. The wide receivers are not being given as much first-round draft love as they probably need this year, because you got to think, without great quarterbacks in the draft, you might have better receivers. You can make the argument that Travis Hunter is a world beater at wide receiver because Shedeur was throwing him the ball and he had to go get it in strange places. I cannot believe we've not had Will Johnson still on the board. Josh Simmons is still on the board. Omarion Hampton, the running back. Golly, there's a lot of good running backs. They're going to start. I guarantee you, running back is coming. Matthew Golden from Texas. Feels like a Detroit Lion. Just going to throw that out there right now. Oh, I'm just distressed. Let's go. And they select Barron. The Broncos pick Barron, the cornerback from Texas. A little bit of a stunner, not too much. Sean Sean Payton has his way of drafting, and he goes after the Texas Longhorn. Goes 20th overall. And they put another cornerback into the AFC West. And he looks like a starter. 5'10", 194. Shows the athleticism and aggressiveness out there on the outside. Looks like he's really good at reading the quarterback. Jumped in front of Milroe there for the pick as they're showing some of his highlights. Playing against top quality defenders or offenses, and he is really adept at making hits. What is up, Miss Mary? Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, look, I'm telling you, I feel like that's a safe pick for Denver, but it didn't really feel like it addressed any needs. I got to get back to my screen here. Pittsburgh's on the clock. Pittsburgh needs a running back. There are lots of good running backs on the board. They need a quarterback. They need wide receivers. They need offensive playmakers. They need tackles. They could use a cornerback. There is a lot of things, a lot of directions that they can go. 4:28 on the clock. And the cameras are on Shedeur right now. This might be the last chance in this round for somebody to pick Shedeur. And there's Jackson Dart, quarterback, Mississippi. I think the most NFL ready quarterback in the draft. Steelers pick is in. Who's it going to be? Steeler fans. Steeler fans. I might be there, Mary. I'm working on that one. Just trying to make it. All right, here we go for Pittsburgh. I feel like that cornerback's coming off the board, but I could be wrong. Will. And they go D tackle, Derek Harmon out of Oregon. The Steelers go interior defensive line. And that is, like I've been saying, that is the trend of the draft. People are going safe inside. They are staying in the trenches. Teams are going with the safer style of pick, and the Chargers are on the board. Man, this feels like a spot. I'm going to say it again. This feels like a spot for Will Johnson. I like the guy. I thought he would be gone by now. That's why I keep calling his name. But former coach Harbaugh and the Chargers has got to see that he is still available. The Chargers took Najee Harris in free agency. That I don't know that they're going to go with another runner at this point, as that's a need for them. Tight end, guard and tackle, or guard and defensive tackle. Are they going to continue to milk the board of these big interior linemen? Or are they going to go for something that's a splashier pick? Really curious to see what it's going to be. I cannot fathom Will Johnson making it out of the first round. There is going to be a lot of running backs available later too as well. Tomorrow might be all running backs. And Derek Harmon is now the 21st pick, and he will be wearing the black and gold. Man, I'm still distraught over our pick. Has anybody got anything good? Thank you, Mary. Much love. No, the year that shit. Hang on. The 2022 draft was the year that Pickett went, and he went 20th overall and was the first quarterback taken. I can look at that draft class. Let's see. That was the year that Trayvon Walker went number 1. Let's see. The first quarterback was Kenny Pickett, and he went 20th. Let's see. Second round, that was one quarterback. Second round did not have a quarterback. And then Malik Willis was like in the third round, I think. Yeah. Desmond Ridder went 74th. Malik Willis went 86th. So, yeah, the 2022 quarterback draft was not good. I want to look and see the rest of them that were drafted. Bailey Zappi, taken at 137. And let's see, I'm just going to get through the rest of these rounds and see if there's anybody else worthwhile that I forgot about. But this was a horrible quarterback class. Skylar Thompson was drafted. Chris Oludikoff from South Dakota State. Oh, Brock Purdy. That was the last one selected, and he was in the last pick of the 7th round. So there you go. That class was so far worse than this one. 20th was the first pick, and Brock Purdy snuck all the way to the end. I don't know about snuck. I think he just fits into what Shanahan does, but we'll see. Draft predictor from ESPN said there was a 96% chance that Shedeur Sanders would be drafted by pick 21. I should have took those odds and bet against him being drafted in the first round. It just doesn't feel like it's going to happen. And the Rams still have not selected their pick. They are letting the clock run all the way down. Mel Kiper's sitting there running his mouth. I don't know what he's saying, but I don't care. He doesn't deserve to be on TV. I think I deserve to be on ESPN more than Mel. Send your vote via Twitter or X or whatever it is anymore. He may have more knowledge, maybe, but I look better. Not many people would I openly say that about, but I look better than Mel Kiper. Hey, yo. What is up, Miss Alex? And the Rams or the Chargers are going to take the clock all the way down until they get their selection in. And here it comes. And the clock, there it is. The pick is in as they run it down to the very end. Looks like another spot for the Michigan cornerback. Could be a running back. Tight end is another position of need. Could be the kid from Texas at wide receiver. Who's it going to be? Let's Evidently, it's not going to be Shedeur. Where is Goodell? The clock has expired. The pick is in. And Roger Goodell is not on the stage. We're still listening to these guys. Where is Roger? Where is Roger? Why are we waiting? I see somebody singing. Maybe that's the reason why. Maybe it's just a mess up here. And the Chargers go with the North Carolina running back, Omarion Hampton, widely looked at as the second best running back behind Ashton Jeanty in this draft. And he is going to be pulled out in the first round by the Chargers, number 22 overall. I didn't know how long he would last, but that fills one of their needs. And they got him and Najee Harris in the backfield. Seems like a lot. As I thought teams would have a little bit more value in the running back position, seeing how the Eagles ran their team last year. And Hampton is the second running back off the board today. I think that is just a sign of things to come. I think that everybody is really going to be working back to running the football. He is a strong back, very low center of gravity, and has great acceleration. He's just another guy, and I think he's a better back than Jeanty. Just saying. And the Green Bay Packers, the home team for the draft this year, are on the clock officially. There is 5:50 to go. And what do they need? Their number one need appears to be a cornerback, offensive tackle, wide receiver, edge, defensive tackle. Will they select Will Johnson? And why is he dropping so far? Will they go with a flashy edge rusher? Or maybe somebody can pick a safety because we haven't seen one of them yet. .433 on the clock. And the Packer fans are out in force for their draft selection this year. Who will it be? Green Bay really showed out for this event. It's a good thing, too. The Packers are drafting Deion's boy. I don't think so. But Minnesota Vikings are on the clock next. Could they go for a totally young quarterback room? I mean, a better situation for Shedeur to learn from would be with the Rams. I am trying to figure out where they will go. See if the Packers do something stupid like the Bengals. The fans are getting antsy. They are wanting their pick. I hope Tom does not lose his ever loving mind today. The fans are getting completely antsy as the clock. It seems like the clock was going faster earlier, and now as we've gotten further along in the night, it seems to be slowing down. Ready for it? Let's see it. Where is Goodell? The pick is in. The Packers faithful are up in arms, cheering, ready for Roger Goodell to take the stage. So they're talking about on the TV now. There's only been one trade here in the first round, and it said that there has never been fewer than 3 going back to 1971. Interesting. If the Packers draft another quarterback, I would be shocked. It would be hilarious. All right, here we go. The pick is in. And they are going to let Mark Murphy, who is retiring, make the selection for his Green Bay Packers as the president of the team. Yeah. He is firing up the crowd. Everybody's got their phone out recording. They draft a wide receiver in the first round. I'm sure Aaron Rodgers is cringing at this point. Matthew Golden, wide receiver, Texas, is going to be a Packer. And a kind of a surprising pick, in my opinion. But this young man is coming out in some style, and he will be a Packer. That tells me that with all the wide receivers that they've had, that some of them have been injury prone. Some of them just haven't worked out quite right as far as leadership capabilities and maturity. They go and they grab Matthew Golden from Texas. I believe that is the third Longhorn drafted, maybe fourth. There is the over-under this year that they could break the record at 16 drafted players. But Golden gets the hometown nod today and gets to go out on the stage because he is in attendance in a Packer hat, and this crowd is going to erupt when they meet this young man. They are screaming, "Go Pack, go." He's sizing up his hat as we speak, getting ready to make his grand entrance. He is pumped. He is talking. He is hugging Roger Goodell at the moment. Fired up. Meets the president of the Packers, who's going to be retiring soon. They are shooting fireworks off in Green Bay right now after that draft selection. And it says Golden, number 1 for the Packers. And he is screaming on stage. Fired up. Pretty awesome. It's a sight to see who the hometown draft pick is going to be. And for the first time since 2002, the Packers take a wide receiver in the first round. And to the chagrin of Aaron Rodgers, he never got that option to get a number 1. And they do it for Jordan Love. And the Vikings are not trading down. The pick is in. Golden gets some mic time, gets a little bit of a chant going. 1, 2, 3, Green Bay. Vikings have their pick in. It will be coming sooner rather than later. And just as soon as we go from all the cheers and excitement from Green Bay, Wisconsin, we are going to hear boos and hatred towards the enemy of the North, the Minnesota Vikings. I love that the fact that they're drafting back to back. I think it's pretty awesome. And what are they going to pick? So the needs for the Vikings look like this. They have cornerback, guard, D tackle. Everybody seems to be looking for the interior of the defensive or offensive line. Then safety. Last but not least, wide receiver. I disagree. I don't think they're going to go wide receiver in the first round. They may look for some depth later on. But if they go cornerback, I'm assuming it'll be Johnson. If they go safety, I am not sure. If they go safety, it might be the kid from South Carolina. I'm really sure. I really feel like they're going to go corner. I love it that Shedeur Standards is still on the board. And I can't see unless the Rams are in a catbird seat to take a quarterback here and let him learn behind Stafford. I kind of feel like that's where we're going to be headed after the Vikings and the Texans. Ooh. And the Vikings follow suit. They go with the Ohio State guard, Donovan Jackson, as most of these teams, I keep talking about it, are bolstering the interior of their offenses and defensive lines. Vikings go safe, and they go with the guard. And then a change of events. Houston, here we go, quarterback time. Houston just traded their pick to the Giants. The Giants are on the clock. A second quarterback is about to come off the board. The Giants make a move, and who's it going to be? Is it going to be for Jackson Dart, or is it going to be for Shedeur Sanders? Which one will it be that's going to come off the board here second? You got to think that it's going to be a quarterback. There is no way that they make this trade for a corner or a safety. Brian Daboll is on the phone right now. They're talking to whoever it is that they have drafted. They're not showing the camera on the guy. Nope, it's not Shedeur. So it's going to be Jackson Dart. The Giants trade back into round one. You got to think that it's for a QB. It's got to be. Jackson Dart seems like that might be the pick. And if the Giants are going QB, it's got to be the only reason they traded back into the first round. Five's reaction is about to be generational. Giants traded back in with the Texans. It's got to be Dart. I'm just fired up. I want to see it go. Let's get it. Then you got the Rams, the Ravens, and the Giants. The Giants evidently coveted Dart a little bit and thought that they could sneak back into the first round to get him. I'm ready. Let's go. They really draw this out forever. It could be a lot faster, to be honest. So, quarterback is getting ready to come off the board, regardless of who it is. Will it be Dart? Will it be Sanders? Will they sneak in and try to draft somebody else? The benefit of drafting a quarterback in the first round is you can throw on the 5th-year option. You can get 6 years out of a quarterback by tagging him twice. That extra year of control is the reason why people want a quarterback in the first round. And they take Dart. The Giants get Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss. Maybe the best quarterback in the draft. Ironically, Jackson Dart passed Eli Manning in Ole Miss history all-time leading passer, and he will go to where Eli played most of his whole career in New York. The Giants have got a quarterback. Ironically, the Rams have just traded their pick to the Falcons, and the Falcons are now on the clock. There's our third trade. The trades are starting to come here at the end. And what could the Falcons be wanting here? What could the Falcons be looking to do trading back up into the draft here? It's very confusing what the Falcons are looking for here. Definitely it's not a quarterback. Do they want that corner? I'm not sure where we're headed here, but we'll find out soon enough. The Falcons need help at edge, center, safety, defensive tackle. So it's going to be interesting to see where we go from here. But the Falcons got a pick, and their pick is technically in, so we should be getting ready to see it. You know, this might be Daboll's last chance in New York. I cannot figure out what the Falcons are doing here, unless they're after James Pierce from Tennessee, the edge rusher, the one that I thought would have been better suited for Cincinnati if they was to take an edge. But hey, I can't figure out what they're after unless they're looking for another running back. Nah. Will Johnson's still on the board at corner, just so you know. Somebody's going to snag him up soon. And James Pierce does come off the board for the Falcons. Probably a really good selection here. They didn't think he was going to last until they got back to around to picking in the second round. So they make the move now. It looks like the Rams are increasing their draft stock going forward for next year, as they get the 2026 first round pick for the Falcons. They get the 20, and then they get the third round. So the Rams get the 25 second round, the 26 first round, and the Falcons get their guy in James Pierce. 2 picks in the first round for the Falcons now. They look very happy to get who they got. and the Baltimore Ravens are on the clock. And I know they're going to pick something just to tick me off. It's hard to imagine which way the Ravens may go here. Looks like a guy that I would have liked to have on my team if I really would have wanted an edge rusher. Ravens got 4 minutes on the clock here, but James Pierce is finally off the board. Round 1, pick 26. Abdul Carter and Jackson Dart in the first round. I don't think the draft prognosticators are going to hate on that too awful much for the Giants. Daboll's taking a swing this year. He doesn't have to start Dart if he doesn't want to. He's got Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. I'm really curious to what's going to happen there at the Giants. They've got guys to choose from now. So for all you Pittsburgh Steelers fans, you might end up in a situation where Sam Howell comes from the Seahawks back to Pittsburgh because they said that they would let go of him, and he probably would have been a little bit higher rated than everybody in here this year. That could be the guy. Aaron Rodgers is probably happy right now because Pittsburgh has not drafted a quarterback. Let's see. What did I miss? Skater Boy. We got a very raw defensive end, edge. Not the kid from Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M. Wasn't super high on my list. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. You bet that they go with Josiah Stewart. Oh, maybe. I kind of had the quarterback the the linebacker from Alabama, Campbell, or maybe the cornerback from Michigan. Mike Green was a possibility in my head too. Also, the kid from Ohio State's still on the board, but I don't think you're a tackle needy team. You seem to be pretty well filled up in that spot. So yeah, I'm going to go with those. I'm going to go with somebody like that. I don't know if there's any real I just want to look at something. Yeah, it's hard to say, bro. Let's see what the Ravens do here. Is that why he slipped in the draft? Malachi Starks, the safety from Georgia, who another guy I really liked. They're going to couple him in the back on the back end with Kyle Hamilton, making that defensive secondary a little stronger in Baltimore to combat my Bengals. So Starks is going to be going to Baltimore, and I am not sure I'm very happy about that. He played a very, very strong position, 6'1", 197. Second ranked safety in the draft. Obviously, he was Baltimore's top pick at that spot. Yeah. I like the Georgia corners and safeties. I love the way they're taught and how they play ball. That is one area that I really do love the SEC, because you got some gunslingers down there that are always going to try to throw the ball deep. They're always going to try to get you out of position. And I think it's a great place to pick up your corners from. SEC is excellent in that area. So good job by the Ravens. Lions are on the board. Character issues will do it, won't they, Skater? And this young man was in the building today. He used to put on his new hat and go out there and show Ravens fans who he is. First impression coming out onto the stage in Green Bay. Is that one of excitement, elation, and joy, loving on Roger Goodell? Roger Goodell is just trying not to get carried off stage by these young men that want to give him them big hug. The kid from Ohio State is still O-line out there. Simmons, I think his name is I think is a really good pick. Whew. Excuse me. Pick is in. We're ready to rock from Detroit. Detroit has been so prolific in their picks the last couple years that they're one of the teams that I have I admired their pick. When they took Jack Campbell, everybody was down on that. That dude is a beast. Yeah, absolute stud. We're coming down. Oh my gosh. The Sawyer kid from Ohio State is still available too. He's not been drafted. He's one of those kids that plays gutty football. He is a starter for most any team, in my opinion. Now the crowd is booing the Lions. And the Lions pick is up. Everybody's ready to rock with it. Good luck, Skater. Here we go. They're talking about Mike Green, the edge for Marshall. Don't know that that's going to be the pick. But these guys here are always, they get paid, so they must know more than I do. And they go on the other side of the ball. Interior defensive line, Tyleik Williams from the Ohio State University. Pretty solid player right there. Clogged up the middle a lot in the Big Ten this last year. 6'2", 334. He is a big boy who moves really well behind the line. Good penetration. Definitely makes his mark on stopping the run. Also, good penetration to getting to the quarterback, and he has the athleticism to run him down. Played in the middle of the line an awful lot. Very similar to like a nose tackle role. Really good on getting out to the edge. Very, very fast for his size, and a very good run stopper. Good job, Detroit, picking up somebody to bolster your defensive line. Washington Comanches is on the clock. 4:28 left to go before their pick is due. I would gonna go ahead and say a very solid pick by the Detroit Lions. Good job, Skater. Luterate Frank, what is up, my brother? Good to see you. We are still waiting for Shedeur Sanders to be drafted, and I don't see him going to 28. Where we're at, 29. I can't see him going in the first round at this point. So Shedeur Sanders will be a day 2, maybe a day 3 pick. Who knows? There's a lot of quarterback needy teams that are up in that high end of the second round. 2 quarterbacks gone in the first round: Jackson Dart and Cam Ward. Shedeur slipped all the way out of the first round. I'm going to have to get on and see what the betting odds are for where he goes tomorrow. Mentally, he's hurt, Skater. He's hurt because he didn't get picked. The biggest knock on Shedeur was arm strength. We have 4 more picks left here in the first round. And Washington seems to be an interesting selection. Cornerback, edge, safety, wide receiver, and running back is on their list. They do not seem like they have interior O or D line on their list. So we'll see how that plays out for the Comanches. Schedule will be on May 14th being released. I don't know. I feel like he was a junior. I could be wrong. I feel like he was a junior. You're right. He is 22. Yes, I'm still here. What are you talking about? Comanches are loading up in free agency. What are they going to draft today? Washington Commanders, the pick is in. Let's see if Roger Goodell is moving towards the stage yet. And there he is. So they go offensive tackle from Oregon, Josh Connerly Jr. Did not think he was a first round kid. I felt like he was one of the first ones in the second round, but congratulations. He will be a Comanche next year. Another Oregon prospect, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, Oregon kid playing tackle in the NFL. They seem to be pumping them out from out west. We are down to 3 picks to go here in the first round. Buffalo should be on the clock. And man, their need list is pretty high too. A lot of value being found here at the end of the first round. And the trenches, baby, that's been the real deal this year. A lot of these teams really trying to bolster their O and defensive lines, especially on the interior. Washington goes to the outside on the line, takes a tackle. Buffalo is on the clock, 4:43 to go until their draft pick is due up. It was really nice to see. I'm not nice to see, but it was interesting to see that some teams got the player that everybody thought that they should get. Raiders getting Genty, Colts getting Warren. Uh, that's really one of the things that you don't see very often. A lot of confusion and amongst a lot of people with the Bears taking Loveland. And we are ready to rock for Buffalo. The pick is in. Let's see when Goodell hits the stage here. Buffalo fans are wound up. I am so glad that I don't have to listen to what these guys say the whole night because they just sit back and talk smack. Let's go. NFL is embracing Make a Wish, letting a Buffalo Bills fan with a neuromuscular disorder make the pick today for the first round. And Buffalo goes back to the SEC and takes a cornerback in Maxwell Hairston out of the University of Kentucky. A little bit smaller of a corner, but 5'11", 183, has a very nice grade. Got to watch him play a little bit excited to see somebody leaving the state of Kentucky, but going somewhere. Buffalo is where he is going to end up be playing. He has got the right colors on because they talked about it. He is not wearing green. He's wearing Kentucky blue, which is also Buffalo blue. Ready to rock and roll. Skater, I'm telling you, this draft class and the Eagles and the Chiefs have traded picks. Tell me how weird that is. The Eagles are jumping up one pick here for what? I can't imagine what they're after. I am not sure what the Eagles are doing. I want to see Detroit trade Williams. Let's see what happens here. Philadelphia Eagles, the pick is in. I can't imagine what Kansas City knew and traded back one pick. This boy's fired up. Uh, Maxwell Hairston is ready to go to Buffalo. He is fired up. He is looking the part, ready to play some ball. What could the Eagles have wanted to move up one spot for? I'm really curious to what they're going to draft here. I got you, Skater. It's really interesting to see what the Eagles wanted one pick higher. They went corner last year. God, I can't imagine what he's after. Howie Roseman makes me. He always seems to make the picks that I want, and I don't know what he's gonna. He's got to be taking not Jack Campbell. He's gonna be taking the Sawyer kid from Ohio State. Maybe he's gonna plug up the middle with another line with him as a linebacker. The Campbell kid is out of Alabama. Josh Simmons on the offensive line is still out there. He might have thought, oh, maybe Simmons is who Kansas City wants. Dude, I'm curious. I can't figure it out. Yeah, but they took the kid from Iowa and I always get his name. I get Mitchell from Toledo last year, and Cooper DeJean. I think that's right. They got those two guys back there, and I don't know that a corner is high on their list. I feel like they're taking a defensive player, though. Both are hurt and not tall. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know that. But they both played very well this season for rookies. Well, they had to play well. They won a Super Bowl. I still just feel like it's going to be in the middle somewhere on defense. Maybe a running back. Who knows? Chiefs got they got a 5th round pick for making that trade. So good for them. They get an extra. Let's see who it's going to be. And the Eagles pick is the end. And they take the linebacker from the middle, Jihad Campbell from Alabama. They're looking to plug up that middle on the defense. I kind of thought they may go with the Sawyer kid from Ohio State, but instead they go with Campbell. And I'm telling you right now, the last pick in this first round is going to be an offensive tackle for the Chiefs, and they're going to go with Josh Simmons from Ohio State. I can't see anything else for them. I really can't see anything else. If anybody's got something any different, I think that's the best offensive tackle left. And I think he's the best one that's left on the board. And I think that's who they're going to go after. I do though, Skater. I think Josh Simmons is the last guy left in this first round. I think the Chiefs are going to go with that because they have struggled at tackle the last few years. They need somebody to solidify it. This guy is a first round talent that I think he's fought injury or there's something that's prevented him from really excelling. Arante Arce is bigger. Yeah. Let me look and see what all is left. ESPN thinks that they're going to go with an edge rusher. This run on defensive tackles this year has been nuts. And we had 2 guards in the first round. That's crazy, too. I think Kansas City knew that the Eagles were not going to take a tackle. I still think it's Josh Simmons. I'm telling you, they need a tackle so bad. It's got to be what it is. Chiefs pick is in. This has been a great first night of the draft. I want to thank everybody that hung out today. We made it through the draft. Not sure that anybody was really super happy today, except for Sports Cat. Sports Cat got his way as the Jaguars traded up to get the guy that they wanted in Travis Hunter from Cleveland. Cleveland built up some draft capital for this year and for next year. And the Giants jumped back up and got a quarterback in Jackson Dart. Shedeur Sanders will not be drafted today. And we're ready to go. Here we go. The final pick of round 1. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. And nailed the last 2 going forward as Kansas City selects Josh Simmons, offensive tackle, Ohio State. They needed help protecting the quarterback. 6'4", 317. He has got the size and the speed to be quick off the edge against guys like Myles Garrett and Trey Hendrickson. Those type of guys. Stout enough to hang in there and run block. Yeah, he did sustain an injury, I'm assuming, against Oregon. Looks like he did a really nice job. I would have liked to seen him on my O-line. That will conclude draft night number 1. Congratulations to the Chiefs for getting the player that that maybe not that they necessarily wanted, but getting something a position of need and getting an extra draft pick in the 5th round from the Eagles. Congratulations to Cam Ward for being the number 1 selection, going to the Tennessee Titans. (6'5", 317. That I'm assuming I think I said 6'4". I don't know. But yeah. But anyway, let's go. I will see you guys maybe tomorrow. No, you won't see me tomorrow because tomorrow I'm on a ghost tour tomorrow. Ringo, have a great night. Anybody else that's still here that hung out, I appreciate. Love you all. Congratulations to those. See you guys later. We'll go over the next couple rounds together, maybe Saturday. Good night.